Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any mentions of rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. Each individual investor situation is different, and any ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean that the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. A Roth conversion may not be suitable for your situation. The primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. The information provided is to help you determine whether or not a Roth IRA conversion may be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Please review your retirement savings, tax, and legacy planning strategies with your legal or tax advisor to be sure a Roth IRA conversion fits into your planning strategies. No legal or tax advice is provided. Always consult with a tax professional. All rights reserved.
Listen up, because now we're under a financial weather warning. Stay with us as we track 8 severe weather events that forecast a rough retirement.
And now, how to retire with Fuchs Financial.
The main thing for the majority of the listeners out there who are approaching retirement is I don't want to be surprised.
Helping you build, preserve, and manage your wealth.
You got Roth IRAs, you have individual accounts, and finding the right taxable strategy, that's going to be huge for you.
Welcome in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs.
Welcome in to How to Retire with Ben Fuchs. I'm your consumer advocate, Gary Nolan. Filling in for Ben today is Gina Mazzadra. We'll talk about Gina in just a second and talk to Gina. And by the way, Ben is a financial planner, certified private wealth advisor, professional, and fiduciary with over 20 years experience in the business. He is taking the week off and Gina in his place. And I want you to get the How to Retire blueprint. The phone number is 800-380-8985, 800-380-8985. It's a vital part of your retirement planning. You deserve a more confident plan to retire. You want to be stress-free, peace of mind, but it all starts by picking up the phone and punching those numbers in. Gina and the team at Fuchs Financial are standing by, ready for your phone call, 800-380-8985. It's a pleasure to have Gina back with us. Gina, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. If you weren't with us, so I guess about 3-4 weeks ago, Gina.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
2-3 shows for us, and Gina is advisor with Fuchs Financial. Gina, in case our listeners are not familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself to our listeners.
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Gina Mazzadra. I'm from Connecticut. Have lived in Connecticut my whole life. I went to Southern for my undergrad degree many years ago, and since graduating, have worked in the retirement field for the last 12, 13 years. I have my retirement income certified professional designation, my accredited retirement planning specialist designation, along with some other certifications that are just industry standard to have. I've been with Ben at Fuchs Financial for about 3 years now. Everyone we meet with, we like to, do our best to see what we can do to help them with.
All right. Now, several weeks ago, we had a show. We were talking about baseball, and Gina revealed to me that she's a New York Yankee fan, which I was extremely happy about. Now, Connecticut is the dividing line between New York and New England a lot of times. So, football, favorite football team. Do you have one?
Oh, well, I don't have one. My husband's favorite football team is Giants. So I guess I'm Giants.
There you go. All right. A couple of weeks ago, the Giants lost to the Vikings, so we'll see what happens as they further down the road to the season. So we'll see what happens. All right, Gina, great to have you with us. Let's get into the show. Kind of a fun segment for our first one. It's time to batten down the hatches. Just got word from our chief retirement meteorologist that bad weather is coming. There are 8 major financial weather events on the horizon right now. They each symbolize major planning mistakes. All right, so the bottom line is the forecast calls for a rough retirement. Let's go to the Doppler radar and see what's going on. All right, we'll take the first one. Hurricanes, Gina. What does that relate to retirement planning?
So hurricanes are relating to ignoring risk management. So a hurricane represents a catastrophic event, much like failing to account for risks in retirement planning, failing to account for risks in retirement planning, and ignoring potential market downturns unexpected expenses or health issues that can lead to financial devastation, just as a hurricane can wreak havoc on anything in its path. So we had a client who was still in their working years, but they were getting towards retirement, and they were still being very aggressive with all of the money that was in their 401ks. So when we met with them and they wanted to retire in the next 6 months, we were talking about how we needed to lower a lot of the risk that we had. And again, we have a lot of tools in the office that we use to determine how much risk would be appropriate.
Mm-hmm. And you were able to do that for him, so he definitely had more of a conservative approach to his retirement when you guys were through?
Right, because, if you're taking a lot of risk and there's a market downturn that close to being retired, it's going to have a significant impact on how you're able to retire and what you're able to do.
Absolutely. All right, tornadoes, what does that represent?
Yeah, so making rash decisions. So a tornado is a sudden, destructive, and chaotic, much like making impulsive financial decisions, such as withdrawing retirement funds too early or making risky investments without proper consideration. These decisions can tear through your retirement plans, leaving destruction in their wake. So I've worked with several clients who, in the past, have withdrawn all of their money from their retirement savings and they put it in cash. I had a few clients that I worked with who did that back in 2008 and 2009, and they're still playing catch up because they took it all out. And what happened is the market came back. And so they were lost, they were stuck taking that loss and locking it in. So we don't want to make quick decisions on impulse and on emotion. We want to plan for those downturns and be prepared for when they do happen, because they do happen.
And they got back in at a very higher price, cost, wasn't it? Yeah, because the market bounced back. Well, all right, hurricanes, tornadoes. How about a heat wave? What's that?
Yeah, so heat wave is related to overspending in early retirement. So a heat wave can lead to exhaustion and depletion of resources, much like overspending in early retirement. If you spend too much too soon, you might find yourself burnt out financially, struggling to maintain your standard of living in later years. So, while we want our clients to enjoy their retirement and we want them to do all the things that they want to do, we need to be smart about it. Now, we sometimes have people on the other end of the spectrum where people are afraid to spend their money. They've saved for so many years, and that's so instilled in their in their what they do day to day, that when they finally get there and are retired, they have a hard time spending what they have saved. And so either way, we have to have a balance there. Yeah,
I've heard that a lot. That just go spend some money. It's okay.
Yes.
Go on that vacation. Take that vacation.
I love telling people that.
Yeah, exactly. Go spend your money. It's okay. How about a blizzard? We get a lot of those in Connecticut, right?
Yeah. So blizzards. Yeah, we not too bad this past year, but we'll see what's coming this year for it. But failing to diversify investments. So a blizzard can be overwhelming and paralyzing, similar to the effects of diversifying your investments. So relying too heavily on one type of investment can leave you exposed to severe losses, much like being unprepared for a blizzard can leave you stranded. So, if you're only relying on this one annuity that you have saved and you're planning to draw down on it, it may not be enough. If inflation goes up, you may not have enough there if the annuity is conservative and it's not keeping up with the pace of inflation.
All right, let's get on to the next one. See if we can get through all of these, Gina. Flood. What does that mean?
So flood, taking on too much debt. A flood represents being overwhelmed by excess, much like taking on too much debt before or during retirement. Debt can quickly accumulate, drowning your finances and making it difficult to stay afloat. So specifically credit card debt. Credit card debt comes with high interest rates like 27% or something crazy like that. We want to make sure we're prepared for that. And if you need help figuring out how to pay down that debt, we do help with that as well.
Yeah, you have strategies to do that. Deciding which card to pay off first.
Exactly.
And how to get rid of that high interest. I got one in the mail the other day, and offer was 29%, Gina. Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You know what I did with that? Ripped it up, threw it away. Didn't want to ever do that.
Yeah,
all right.
It's like crippling.
Yeah, it really is. How about a cold snap? How does that handle? What does that do?
Yeah, so a cold snap would be like adjusting for inflation. So a cold snap is an unexpected drop in temperature. Much like inflation can unexpectedly erode your purchasing power if you haven't adjusted your retirement plan to account for those rising costs. This can lead to a chilling effect on your financial security. So the 110-year average for inflation is 3.27%, which is the one that we like to go based on if we're planning for retirement, just to err on the higher side. But the 10-year average is actually somehow lower. It's 2.82%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, except for that's the average for the last 10 years. There have been some years in there that were much higher. Mm-hmm. But, if we're planning for retirement, we like to use that 3.27% for inflation to account for going forward.
Right, so you bake that into their plan, so to speak, right, Gina?
Mm-hmm.
All right, a couple of minutes left. A wildfire.
Yeah, so failing to plan for long-term care. So wildfire spreads rapidly and can destroy everything in its path, similar to financial impact of failing to plan for long-term care. So without adequate insurance or savings, the cost of long-term care can quickly consume your retirement resources. So sometimes having long-term care insurance makes sense, sometimes it doesn't, but it's worth it to at least look at it as an option and consider it.
Right. That's one of the things that Gina and the team at Fuchs Financial will take a look at for you, for sure. Mm-hmm. And the final one, a lightning strike. Yeah,
so relying on a single income source is like a lightning strike. So a lightning strike is a sudden and unpredictable, much like relying solely on one income source, such as Social Security or a single pension. So if that source fails or is reduced, it can strike a severe blow to your financial stability. So we have a new calculator on our website that listeners might be interested in. It can look at projected retirement income and projected retirement savings. So that's on our website, fuchsfinancial.com, if anyone's interested in that.
All right, good to know. fuchsfinancial.com. There you go. The 8 ways in which you could have a rough retirement. We don't want you to have that. We want you to get a hold of Gina and the team.
He's letting the clock run out on his Social Security to age 70 for maximum benefits. And here comes the Roth conversion. He's locked in for income for life. He's got some outstanding coaching with that annuity plan. He's created his own pension as well, and it looks like he's going to go all the way.
Play your best retirement game. Call Ben Fuchs at Fuchs Financial, 800-380-8985, 800-380-8985.
Okay, all right, so here we go. Talking about a unique approach to financial wisdom to help folks learn from their financial planning journey. So today, we're going to make an offer you can't refuse and glean insight from surprising, albeit very connected source of financial expertise. You'll likely guess the theme after our first quote. So here we go. Here it is. Our first quote, Francis Ford Coppola's 1974 masterpiece, The Godfather 2. Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, famously said, "Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer." How does that relate to retirement planning, Gina?
Yeah, so I like that movie. So in retirement planning, it translates to being aware of potential financial risks and challenges. So it's crucial to stay informed about markets, trends, and changes in financial regulations, and to have a strategy in place to mitigate these risks. By being proactive and understanding potential threats, you can better protect your retirement savings. So the importance of fundamentals, principles, and values of financial management that can serve your best interests if you apply them correctly from the start. And then also the importance of careful planning and execution and the way it can benefit you in short and long term. Working with a true fiduciary who has your best interest in mind, that is super important. And then once you establish a comprehensive plan and customized financial plan with the help of a professional, covering all your bases, investing wisely, saving diligently, and ensuring you have the right mix of assets, you can achieve the level of financial security that lets you focus on enjoying your retirement without ongoing stress.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There you go. Francis Ford Coppola's 1974 movie, The Godfather Part 2. A lot of people say The Godfather 2 was better than Godfather 1. And usually sequels are not like that, but that was a great movie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was one of my favorites.
That was a good one. I like them both. I like the 1 and 2.
Yeah. And someday you can sit down and watch all 3. It takes about 13 hours.
Yeah. They're on TV a lot.
Yeah, you got a weekend, you're doing nothing, there you go. Watch all those 3 Godfather movies. By the way, I mentioned to Gina off the air before that Mario Puzo, the author of the Godfather books, came from my hometown, West Islip, Long Island, New York. So there you go, a little trivia for you. How about that?
That's so cool.
Yeah, it really is. Never met him. Yeah, I probably walked by him a couple of times somewhere down the street. All right, let's go to one of my favorite movies now. It's Martin Scorsese's hit from 1995. It's kind of a brutal movie, to be honest with you. Casino. Joe Pesci, Sharon Stone, Don Rickles, of course, Robert De Niro. And at one point, the mob bosses are having a meeting in the back of the courthouse. And Remo says, look, why take a chance? At least that's how I feel about it. How does this advice apply to retirement planning, Gina?
Yeah, so Remo's advice about not taking unnecessary risk and leaving things up to chance. In retirement planning, it means sticking to your long-term strategy and not panicking. So the takeaways are: keep your plan steady, review it regularly, avoid letting markets, talking heads, general noise derail your goals. So, we reach out to our clients at least twice a year to have them come in and meet with us. The other thing too is we want to avoid comparing ourselves to others. Everyone has their own unique situation. So reviewing regularly and then keeping to your own unique goals is important. Yeah,
it's funny. We talk about the talking heads on TV. When you see it on CNBC or Fox Business, by then it's basically too late. I mean, to make those kind of adjustments, because it's already out there. Am I right? It's been out there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to plan for those things to happen in the first place.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so we went through Godfather 2 and the 1995 movie Casino. How about this one? Let's turn to another one of my favorite movies. It's 2007 hit, American Gangster, starring Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe. Now, Washington plays Frank Lucas, and he got some wise advice here. The most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, and hard work. How does this one relate to retirement planning, Gina?
So honesty, integrity, and hard work are crucial to successful financial planning. Be honest with yourself about financial situations. Be honest with yourself about goals. Share them with a professional. Work with a fiduciary who puts your best interest in mind. Integrity in your planning and investment choices builds a solid foundation for a secure retirement. So when we meet, we can we want our clients and prospects to openly ask any question that they have. We believe in transparency. So, if you want to know how do we make money, that's a fair question, and we will tell you. We're fee-based, so we charge a fee based on what we're managing for our clients, and it's not a secret there. And then, if you're having issues with debt or anything else, we can talk through that as well. But we want to be open and honest about it all.
Have you had clients that had unrealistic expectations, Gina?
Oh, yeah.
And you have that hard conversation? How does that generally go?
Yeah, we don't sugarcoat it. We tell you up front what it means for you if your expenses are too high for what the income that you are going to have is. And, sometimes it is a tough conversation and not everybody likes to hear it, but you need to hear it, because if you want to plan for retiring and living a happy, long life and living off of what you have saved, we have to, be fiduciaries and tell you what it is.
Right. And a lot of times you go the other way, too, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, that folks are doing better than they thought, and you can give them good news along the way, too, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about my job is telling people to go and spend their money and saying, yeah, you worked hard for your whole life and now you get to enjoy it, spend it. Of course, it's hard to do when you have the mindset of save, but I do love telling people to go on vacation and spend their money.
Right. So if you have any clients that are really worried about spending money, Gina, tell them to go to GaryNolan.com and send me some money. No,
yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Do not do that. It's just a joke. I'm going to get anybody in trouble here with compliance. Not going to do that, Gina. Just joking. All right, let's get to our next quote. This is from 1991. Tony Montoya, played by Al Pacino in the movie Scarface. Who put this thing together? Me. That's who. Who do I trust? Me. That was a pretty good movie, too, I must admit. Yeah.
I like that quote. So personal responsibility involved in creating the financial future that you want by taking an active role in pursuing your retirement goals. So, in retirement planning, you are the architect of your own destiny. It's up to you to make informed decisions, save consistently, and plan ahead. Be your own advocate. Don't leave your future to chance, and take control and create the retirement that you want. Don't compare yourself to what others have saved. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. And, advocate for yourself and do what you think is best for you.
Right, absolutely right, because it really starts and ends with you. Of course, you have Gina and the team at Fuchs Financial to guide you, but you have to take control of your own situation. All right, final thoughts or tips to help those take steps to help them reach their retirement planning journey in the future, Gina?
Yeah, so start by assessing your current financial situation and defining your retirement goals. Then set up a budget for yourself. Start and continue to save regularly. Consult a financial advisor to help create a personalized plan. Reap the benefits of compounding growth and interest. And know what you need in retirement and what you must do to attain that financial stability.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't like the budget word, we like to say spending plan. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, but there's something about that B word, Gina, that really bugs people. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Nobody
spending
likes
plan.
a budget. Yeah, spending plan. All right, so there you go. There you have it. Of course, we'll go back to our first quote from The Godfather, Vito Corleone's famous line, "I'm going to make an offer he can't refuse." Keep that in mind in your retirement planning today. All right, Gina, final thoughts to wrap up the segment.
So we've spent a good deal of time talking about retirement, and we want folks to know that we keep a few openings on our calendar for a free review for anyone who has more questions about how this might affect their retirement. So give us a phone call and we can chat with you personally and try to answer any questions you have. From there, we'll talk through the different puzzle pieces that you need to consider in your retirement plan. For instance, Social Security and what age you should start taking that benefit, risk, how much risk you're taking in your portfolio, and is that amount of risk appropriate for your age and the amount of return that you're actually getting. And then income plan. Do you have an income plan in place to be sure that you don't end up running out of money in retirement?
We believe in better. A better way to invest, a better way to serve you, and a better result. We can help you determine how much risk you're taking, red flags that could be potential problems for you, how much you are paying in fees or commissions, potential tax liability, or even how to address Social Security. Call Ben Fuchs at Fuchs Financial, proudly serving all of Connecticut. Call today, 800-380-8985. 800-380-8985.
All right, so according to Magnifying Money, 95% of those polls who have financial advisors believe it's worth their money. We're going to dig into as why you should have a financial advisor. Makes perfect sense to me, Gina. Let's start with the first one. Expert financial guidance. That's what you guys do every day.
Right. So a financial advisor brings years of experience and knowledge to the table. They can help you create a personalized financial plan tailored to your unique needs and goals. So this can include investment strategies, retirement planning, tax optimization, and estate planning. So what it does is we look at what you are looking for and we tailor a plan around you. What are your needs? What do you have saved? What are your expenses? What's your income? And then looking at those three components, we can create something that's very customized.
And, retirement planning is not a do-it-yourself situation. Like I like to say, there's too many moving parts or puzzle pieces, Gina, and it can get very expensive if you don't do it right, particularly when it comes to tax planning. And you guys take a look at that, too.
Right.
It's part of that comprehensive plan, am I right?
Right, exactly. So we look at where do you fall on the tax bracket? If we have excess income, how is that going to affect our taxes? And then are we going to end up paying more on that next dollar spent than we need to? So we can, oftentimes we can actually prepare ahead of time, especially when it comes to the RMDs that people have to take.
Right.
So when you're 73, you're forced to start taking that pre-tax income. So if we have time before we are taking that, we can plan around, maybe doing some things like Roth conversions.
Right.
But yeah, taxes play a huge role in retirement.
Yeah, and boy, it could cost you a lot of money if you don't do those, handle those RMDs correctly. Boy, I'll tell you, I've heard some stories make people's heads spin about what people had to pay in taxes because they weren't paying attention or tried to do it on their own. How about objective perspective, Gina?
So it's easy to let emotions cloud financial judgment. A financial advisor provides an objective perspective, helping you make rational decisions based on data and analysis. So they can help keep you on track during market volatility and prevent impulsive decisions. So, a couple weeks ago, we had a little downturn in the market, and I, reached out to those clients who I know are a little hesitant in the market, and I just, talked them through it and made sure that they were comfortable with what we were doing, and try to avoid them from wanting to withdraw all their money from the market, which would make it a lot harder to catch up later because the market did since bounce back, and we don't want to be impulsive.
Yeah, about a month or so ago, I think it was on a Monday, that week was really a very, very difficult week. So you did have clients that wanted to say, hey, pull all my money out of the market. You had to talk them off the ledge, so to speak.
Right. So we reach out to those people, and we talk through it, and we make sure that they're still comfortable. Obviously, it's their money; they can do what they want to do. It's fully their decision. But we're there to provide support and tell them why is it important to keep on plan and keep on track with what we're doing instead of just making an irrational decision and pulling everything out.
Right. So you were proactive. You actually reached out to them before they would reach out to you to calm their fears and nerves, right?
Couple of people, yeah. There's a few people who I had in mind who I said, this person's going to be in a little panic today. So, yeah.
Talk them off the ledge. That's
yeah, exactly.
Don't do it. Don't do it. How about the next one? Time savings.
Time savings. So, managing your finances can be time consuming. A financial advisor can handle the day-to-day tasks, freeing up your time for other priorities. This includes investment research, portfolio rebalancing, and tax preparation. So again, we do the tax prep when we meet with our clients twice a year. We look at how their income is affecting their taxes and if there's any changes to be made. And again, that's pretty much every 6 months that we meet with our clients to make sure that we're on track and on goal for what we're looking for.
Yeah, it can very be time consuming. Folks that like to do it on their own. Some folks dabble in day trading, don't they? But they just but they don't do their whole portfolio through that, right?
Right.
At least you don't want them to do that.
Yeah, and we do have clients who like to, play in the market themselves. And so what we do with those people, we tell them, go hold that account somewhere else and you do what you want to do. You play around with it. But for the bulk of your retirement savings, especially the pre-tax retirement plans, we'll handle those. And then, you can do what you want with that little bit.
Right. Go at it, have fun, knock yourself out, but let us handle the big stuff for you guys.
Right.
All right. And I was going to mention this earlier when it came to expert financial guidance, because this came to mind too. Access to resources and expertise. There's some products that simply the consumer cannot buy on their own, Gina. Am I right?
Right. So financial advisors have access to a wide range of resources and expertise. And in addition to that, we have a lot of tools that we buy in our office to help plan for this customizable reports and customized plans. So this can include research, investment research, tax professionals, estate planning attorneys. They can leverage these resources to help make informed financial decisions. So yes, we have plenty of resources at our fingertips for our clients.
Right, at fuchsfinancial.com. Earlier in the show, you mentioned that there's a new tool that you guys have at Fuchs Financial. What is that about?
So we have a couple new calculators. So if you go on fuchsfinancial.com, there's a calculator tab. There's one that is for retirement savings, and then one is for retirement income. I believe there's also a new one, too, for a mortgage calculator. So, anybody can go online and use those. You don't have to be a client. You could just go onto our website.
All right, fuchsfinancial.com. Check it out. All right, so we went through expert financial guidance, objective perspective, time savings, access to resources and expertise. How about accountability and discipline? What do we mean by that?
It's easy to procrastinate on financial goals. A financial advisor provides accountability and discipline to help you stay on track. They can provide regular check-ins, progress reports, and ensure that you're making progress towards your goal. So, like I said a few times, we reach out to our clients at least twice a year to have you come in for reviews. In those reviews, we reset. We go back and look at what are our original goals. Has anything changed? And is there anything that we need to tweak here to make it work better for your lifestyle? So, and on the other hand, when it comes to spending and what our expenses are, we help keep you on track for that as well, because sometimes, it's easy to spend a little bit more than what our income is and creep towards getting a little bit of debt. And we want to avoid that. So we help, again, minimize that that piece of it for you by just talking you through, all right, well, we need to have a little reset here and maybe not spend so much.
Yeah, no judgment. I mean, they don't bring you in the office and duct tape you to the chair and say, stop spending. That's never happened. Gina, has that happened ever before?
No, I don't lock the doors.
You're locked in. You're not going anywhere. You stop spending money. All right, this is one of my favorites because I talk about this all the time when it comes to working with folks at Fuchs Financial. It's peace of mind, Gina.
Knowing your finances are in good hands can provide peace of mind. A financial advisor can help you feel confident about your financial future, and this can reduce stress, anxiety, along with allowing you to focus on enjoying life. So I had someone come in actually on Friday, and she wanted to retire, and I had to talk her into it. I had to tell her, look, you have the savings here, your income's good, your expenses are under control, so yes, please go ahead and retire and do the things you want to do. And just having that conversation, she left in such a relief than, versus how she came in. When she came in the door that day, she said, right. she was just incredibly stressed, unhappy at her job, and I was just happy to tell her that, yeah, you can go ahead and retire comfortably. You're going to be okay. This is what the retirement's going to look like for you. And, I gave her a hug when she left, and she was just feeling like
nice.
Relief. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. I got a new acronym for you if you like. It's called SWAN, Sleep Well at Night. So you can start using that, all right?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
There you go. Sleep Well at Night, SWAN. All right. And the final one, improve financial outcomes.
So, studies have shown that people who work with financial advisors tend to have better financial outcomes. My guess is also that it probably helps, with, like we said before, keeping people on track. And this is likely due to the combination of factors including expert guidance, objective perspective, and increased discipline. A financial advisor can help you achieve your financial goals faster and more efficiently. And when you're working with a financial advisor, and you tell them what your goals are, our job is to help you accomplish your goals. So when we meet twice a year with you, we're telling you, all right, well, this is what we need to do to stay on track for what you originally told us. And if that goal changes, that's okay. Nothing's set in stone. But at least we can have a picture of where are we falling in terms of, what are we looking to accomplish here.
With Ben Fuchs at Fuchs Financial, you get the right strategies in place for a solid retirement plan, but there's so much more. It's a custom approach in taking the time to get to know you, to get to know your unique financial situation. Most importantly, finding out your retirement goals. That information is critical in creating your retirement plan. This involves building income for your retirement and proper protection with proactive tax strategies, long-term care and out-of-pocket health care protection, and knowing your legacy wishes. Building your retirement, and it never hurts to get that human touch. Holistic and customized retirement planning. It means so much. Call Ben Fuchs at Fuchs Financial, 800-380-8985, 800-380-8985. Ben Fuchs at 800-380-8985.
All right, we're going to put Gina on the hot seat. Q&A time here on the show. Welcome back in. This is How to Retire with Ben Fuchs. I'm your consumer advocate, Gary Nolan. Gina Mazzadra filling in for Ben today. And if you've been listening, you know that Gina has close to 13 years experience in retirement planning business. She's an advisor with Fuchs Financial. And here each week on the show, we talk about things that are really important to you, whether it's wealth accumulation, asset protection, long-term care. We talk about Social Security and so much more. So let's bring Gina back in. You all set for these questions? Ready to rock?
I'm ready, yeah. Let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Jennifer Groton, I heard you talk about a solo 401k recently, and I'm wondering if it might make sense for me. My employer doesn't match my 401k, but I'm able to max it out as well as a Roth IRA. I make about $50,000 in freelance work. Can that work, or is something else that can help me mitigate taxes? I'm 64, plan to retire at 67. What do we have for Jennifer in Groton?
Right. So one alternative is a SEP plan, SEP, for your freelance work. You'd be able to save 25% of what you earn from your freelance work, or about $12,000 could go into the SEP.
All right, there you go. There's some great advice for Jennifer in Groton. All right, Kevin in Middlebury. Does a self-directed IRA mean not paying any fees, and I'm on my own? How should I invest?
So self-directed IRAs, depending on where you hold it, some do have no fees associated with it. Some have commission-based fees where you pay if you're placing trades. But it kind of depends on where the account is held. How you should invest, I mean, that's a loaded question, because it really depends on what your risk tolerance is. It depends on what your goals are. How much are you investing? How much can you afford to take for risk? So, if we're looking at an IRA, typically we might look at something that's going to generate income for you in the future for retirement. It depends on also how close are you to retirement, and are you looking to start taking withdrawals from that account in the next couple of years, or is it something that you're going to be contributing to for many years to come? So it really depends on what your situation is.
Yeah, you're really starting from square one here, because we know nothing about Kevin. We don't know his age. We don't know, if he's still working. We don't know what his investments are. So you're right. It's kind of a loaded question. A lot of times we get these questions, and unfortunately we can't give you great answers because we don't have enough information. And that's why you need to get a hold of Ben and the team and Gina at Fuchs Financial. And this way you can help Kevin, because like I said, Gina, we know nothing about him, do we? No.
Right. We don't know anything. And the other thing we do sometimes, we can do 15-minute consultations over the phone. So if it's just a brief question and, we need a little more information to help answer that question, you can schedule time for, a 15-minute time slot where we can just go through briefly, what are you looking for? Is it something that we can help you with? And we'll tell you if it's something we can help with or not.
Yeah, and this way you only take like 15 minutes, and there's no cost. There's certainly no obligation as well. All right, let's get to our next question. Emma in Glastonbury, are Social Security benefits withheld because of excess earnings retirement to your monthly installments when you reach full retirement age?
So if you visit the SSA.gov website after you reach full retirement age, it'll calculate your benefit amount that you would give, for the credits for each month that you paid into it, in which you did not receive a benefit because of your earnings. Social Security will send you a letter telling you about any increase in your benefit amount. So again, you can go on to SSA.gov to find out what your benefits are. Your benefit payments are based on your highest 35 earning years. So sometimes the longer you work, it'll knock out the earlier years in which you had a lower earning potential. But yeah, so SSA.gov can help answer some of those questions.
All right, and our final question comes from Greg in West Hartford. Do beneficiaries pay taxes on life insurance? What do we mean?
Generally speaking, when the beneficiary of a life insurance policy receives the death benefit, this money is not counted as taxable income, and the beneficiary does not have to pay taxes on it. However, there are a few situations that exist in which the beneficiary is taxed on some or all of the policy's proceeds. If the policyholder elects not to have the benefit paid out immediately upon his death, but instead held by the insurance company for a given period of time, the beneficiary may have to pay taxes on interest generated during that period. When a death benefit is paid to an estate, the person or persons inheriting the estate may have to pay taxes on it.
I see. Okay. So let me get this straight. So here's the thing. Everybody needs, and you guys talk about how important it is to have an estate plan, and it's not just for millionaires. Everybody should have an estate plan, Gina, because you don't want to go into probate, am I right?
Right. So it gives you control over what happens with all your assets, should you pass. And you have control to determine who it goes to. Otherwise, it's going to go through probate, and it's not going to be completely in your control anymore. So if you have specific individuals, or even some people have charities that they want to leave it to, if you have that in mind, you want to make sure that you're naming a beneficiary on file on all of your accounts to make sure that you have control over where it will go after you pass.
Have you had some clients that unfortunately failed to update their beneficiaries and went to the wrong people? Have that happened in your office?
Not to me. We make sure that we name beneficiaries for everybody. Even if it's, some people want to name a primary beneficiary, but they're not sure about who they want to name as contingent. I tell them, okay, go home and think about it, but at least let's name the primary, because you just never know what could happen. The contingent beneficiaries, it's important to have that as well. And the beneficiaries on all accounts can always be changed at any time, here or elsewhere. I've never heard of an issue where somebody had trouble changing who they named as a beneficiary. So it is something that can be updated if you chose to, but it's important to at least name one primary beneficiary.
Right. So back to our question. Generally speaking, the beneficiary life insurance policy who receives the death benefit, they don't pay taxes in that specific situation, right, Gina?
Right. Not counted. Yeah, not counted as taxable income. Correct.
All right. Greg, Emma, Kevin, and Jennifer, thank you all for your questions. And we're pretty much out of time today. Gina, final thoughts on how you can help folks reach their retirement goals.
We've spent a good deal of time talking about retirement goals today, and we want folks to know that we keep a few openings on our calendar for a free review for anyone who has more questions about this or how this might affect their retirement. So give us a call and we can chat with you personally and try to answer any questions you have. From there, we'll talk through different puzzle pieces of what you need to consider in your retirement plan. For instance, fees, how much are you paying in fees and commissions within your current plan, long-term care, and do you have a plan for how you'll pay for assisted living or nursing homes if you may need it, and legacy planning, and have you determined the best way to pass money on to future generations. Hey, Gary, can you tell the folks how they can get their own free review?
Sure, absolutely, Gina. Here's that phone number. It starts with the phone, and picking up the phone and dialing that number, 800-380-8985, the How to Retire Blueprint. It's a comprehensive plan. There's no cost, no obligation. Now, just as we've been tackling problems on today's show, we can help you assess your plan and your outlook for retirement. Make sure you're on the secure path. This limited but complimentary review will determine how prepared you are for your investments, how to handle all your retirement pitfalls, including inflation, Social Security, healthcare emergencies, stock market volatility, risk, taxation, and folks, more importantly, we'll show you how to produce a lifetime income plan. That's right, a lifetime income plan for your entire life, not just the lifespan of your bank account. That phone number is 800-380-8985, the How to Retire Blueprint, 800-380-8985. It's a vital part of your retirement planning. You deserve a more confident plan to retire. You want to be stress-free, peace of mind, but Ben and the team cannot help you until you pick up the phone and do that. The How to Retire Blueprint, like I said, it's a vital part of your retirement planning, and make sure you do it right now. When you're thinking about it, the spots do go quickly on the show. In fact, they could be all gone by now. 800-380-8985, the How to Retire Blueprint. Well, the show has flown right on by. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Hope you found the information we presented helpful. Look forward to all of you being back next week. We'll have new topics and new questions right here on How to Retire with Ben Fuchs. Gina, a pleasure as always, and I look forward to doing the show with you some future time. And meantime, Ben will be back next week, right?
Yeah, he's planning to be back next week. But yeah, it was nice to see you again, Gary. And
thank you, Gina.
Yeah, I think he should be done traveling, I think, for a while now. So
all right,
you'll see him.
We'll see Ben back here next week. All right, Gina, thanks so much. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week. Take care.
All right, you too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Investment advisory services are offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, hereafter known as Foundations, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The content provided is intended for informational and educational purposes only. The views, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the individual speakers and not necessarily those of Foundations and its affiliates. The information contained herein does not constitute an offer to sell any securities or represent an express or implied opinion or endorsement of any specific investment, opportunity, offering, or issuer. Any discussion of performance or returns is not indicative of future results. Any discussions of specific strategies are for informational purposes only and have been provided to help determine whether they may be appropriate for your specific situation. If applicable, the primary goal in converting retirement assets into a Roth IRA is to reduce the future tax liability on the distributions you take in retirement or on the distributions of your beneficiaries. Each individual investor situation is different, and ideas provided may not be appropriate for your particular circumstances. Foundations only transacts business in states where it is properly registered or is excluded or exempted from registration requirements. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. Nothing herein constitutes a recommendation that any security, portfolio of securities, or investment strategy is suitable for any person. No legal or tax advice is provided. Please review your retirement, tax, and legacy planning strategies with a legal or tax professional before transacting or implementing any strategy discussed herein. Any comments regarding safe and secure investments and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products. They do not refer in any way to investment advisory products. Rates and guarantees provided by insurance products and annuities are subject to the financial strength of the issuing insurance company, not guaranteed by any bank or the FDIC. This is not endorsed or affiliated with the Social Security Administration, any federal Medicare program, or any U.S. government agency. If applicable, we do not offer every plan available in your area. Any information we provide is limited to those plans we do offer in your area. Please contact Medicare.gov or 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options. All rights reserved.